Alright, so I wasn't really going to record anything today, but my schedule opened up and I found myself with some free time on my hands. And so I decided to do something a little different than what it is that I normally do on the channel. And I wanted to do a beat remake today. I'm trying something new. I'm trying to see if, this is something that you guys are going to want to see, become a recurrent thing on the channel in the future. And so if you end up enjoying the video and the style of the video, let me know in the comments and I will do more of them. And I may even consider doing a couple of the beat remakes live, during a stream or something. I think that might be really cool. If that interests you, let me know in the comment section, like I said. So today the beat that I'm going to be remaking is a song called Rei Lacoste by a Brazilian rapper named Remade Chefe. And he has really blown up recently in like the last month or so, the last few weeks or so, because he has a really unique sounding voice. He's got a really rich, warm tone to his voice, and it is his natural voice. You hear it in interviews and things like that. It was a little hard to believe at first. I thought it was just a really quirky performance, but no, that really is his voice, and it sounds really pleasing almost to the ear. It's a really dope voice. It's a really cool sound. And at first, that was the reason why he started blowing up, but people started to realize that he doesn't really rap about violence, gangbanging. He doesn't really talk about women as though they were sex objects. He doesn't talk about guns and drugs. Really, all he raps about are the things that he enjoys. Really, mostly expensive whiskeys and colognes and fashion. He talks a lot about clothes. And more so specifically in this video, or in this song, Lacoste. He always wears Lacoste shirts. He just really enjoys them. And so, it kind of really blew up because his subject matter is also really different and his beat selection's dope. And so he's a really interesting artist in general. And so he's kind of been blowing up recently, and this is his most popular song. I think it's got like almost 30 million views on YouTube. And I'm going to be remaking the beat to it today because, I'm also trying to put you guys onto something new. As well. So today's going to be a really fun day of new experiences for everybody. And, I am a little nervous because I've never done a beat remake. So this, for my personal tastes, I'm a really big perfectionist. It doesn't really sound close enough to the original, but it's about as close as I can get it with my current skill level. Let me know what I could have done better or differently in the comment section before we jump into it. I will play a clip of the original song, so that you can get a sense of what the beat actually sounds like, the real beat. I can't put too much of the clip in there though because of copyright, as I'm sure you understand, but it'll be enough to give you a gist of what the beat sounds like, and then we'll jump into FL Studio. So let's get to it.
Moda casual de luxo, tô chique, confortável, choco, Rei Lacoste, indomável, regula fit, jaca.
All right, so here's my beat, right? The remake. This is all of it. It's got the same exact arrangements as the actual song itself, with all of the pauses, delayed drops, and even ending on the horn note, right? The descending horn note. By the way, if you want to listen to the full song, the link to it will be in the description. You should definitely check out Remade Chefe. He's got, really cool music. Anyways, so this is, arranged exactly the same way as the original song. And we're going to go through it element by element and show you guys how it was that I made it. So we're going to start off with this Omnisphere preset called Mandolin B. That main melody in the actual song, to me personally, sounded like a mandolin more than a guitar, or any other plucked stringed instrument. I really heard a mandolin sort of a sound there, so I think Mandolin B on Omnisphere sounds pretty close. And I got it as close as I could by using Fruity Reverb on the cathedral setting, and I just turned it down a little bit with this knob right here. I added some EQ to it, just super basic, just filtering out a lot of those lows and some of the really high highs. A little bit of a delay. I set it to this time right here. It's at 4. You can see it up here in the top left corner. It's at 4, and the cutoff is right here. It doesn't really tell me the frequency in the top left, but this is more or less where I wanted it. Just to give it a little bit of that extra bounce, and I added some RC20 to it, but I didn't EQ it or anything. I just added this distortion and this magnetic sound right here from Transmitting from Space. I chose the Transmitting from Space preset, and then I got rid of the noise. I turned off the EQ. I reset the width and the gain, and I just kept the magnetic and distortion. It probably would have been easier just to turn those on individually, but I didn't know that that was specifically what I wanted until I heard it. So I had to work down to that point. And that's really all we have on the main melody. I will show you guys the piano roll here. This is what it looks like. on mandolin B. So I played this melody on my MIDI keyboard to find the actual notes, but then I actually clicked them in just so that I wouldn't have to record it all in one take. And more specifically also because I used the grid, the snap to grid on 1/3 step, because it is a triplet pattern melody, but I also wanted to slightly offset some individual notes from the grid just to add a little bit of bounce and sort of like a human feel to it, which is also why I mess with the velocities down here, so that not every note is played at the same volume. It also gives it a special sort of a bounce and a more authentic feeling to it. But enough talking, let's actually show you what this melody sounds like. I forgot to mention it's 120 BPM. I didn't even take the time to figure out what key this is in. I played it all by ear. I must have heard the introduction to the song like 1,000 times, trying to figure out exactly what notes were what. So I couldn't tell you what key this is in. I would have to take some time to find that out, and I really don't want to do that right now. For the actual drop into the chorus, there is a horn that comes in, a little bit of a trumpet section that plays 3 notes. It plays a, let me find this pattern actually so I can show you better than just tell you. It plays a D and then an A, but then it actually plays an A sliding down into, it actually plays an A sliding down into a G for the last bar. Okay, so that's what you see here. I realized that in my plugin Orchestral, the treating this note like an 808 slide, right? So clicking in and you know, sliding into this G actually wouldn't work. I tried it for a very long time. I just couldn't make it work. So I just stopped being lazy and automated it. I automated the pitch, this pitch knob right here. And that's what you see right here. It's pitching this last note down. You know, it is a weird sort of a decision, but I think it actually adds sort of an ominous, creepy feeling to the beat that I think it's a nice touch. It is a nice touch. It's also panned to the right, which I also think is a nice touch. It sort of separates it from everything else. And so here is what the horn sounds like on its own, and then I'll show you what it sounds like with that main melody as well. So let's solo this. There it is. So you can hear it. It's a really subtle, pitching of it on that last note, but it does slide into that note and sound a little creepy. Here's what it sounds like with the main melody as well. Yeah, so we're getting into it now. That's really all I did for melodies. It is a simple beat. There isn't really much more than that to the melodies themselves. I also chose this clap from the Reddit drum kit. It's literally just, it's called the Reddit kit right here. I downloaded it off of Reddit, and it's got a bunch of different sounds: 808s, claps, effects, hats, kicks, perks, snaps, snares, and a bunch of different shit right here that I have no idea, I've never used. And this clap is really short, clean, and sounds similar to the one that's on the song, I think. So I played it with any effects on it? No, it's just as is, with the velocities turned all the way up. So here's what that melody and the horns sound like with the clap added. I did slightly offset them from the grid. Adds bounce. A, 2, 3, 4. And that's all the clap is. It's just you play it on every third beat of every bar, and you keep on moving, man. It really is not... Whoever produced it, I actually should shout them out. I'll find out who that is. Hold on. I'll find out who it is that produced it and put it in the editing. I'll put their name up on screen. But they did not overthink this at all. They kept it simple, and you know, I feel like that's partially why it works as well as it does. I headed into the 808. I used this 808 Mira short, also from the Reddit kit. All of these drums are from the Reddit kit, but I shortened it a little bit more with this out knob, and I don't think I did anything other than that to it beyond adding this distortion. And I opened up Fruity Fast Distortion, and as is, all I did was turn down the mix. I didn't mess with the threshold, post gain, nothing. I just turned it down in the mix, and then I added this EQ to it, which I don't know if this is done correctly. I'm not really a professional, but this sounds good to my ears, so this is what I did to it. It's playing. Let me show you the piano roll. This is it. It plays a D on the first beat, the fourth beat, nothing for the second bar. Again, the D, first beat, fourth beat. But then on the end of that fourth beat, it plays down, it goes down to an A, leading into the D for the next downbeat. So let's show you what that sounds like with the other patterns. Bouncy, man. It's bouncy. Again, very simple, not overthinking it, not adding a bunch of 808 slides. They're not, you know, playing a bunch of different notes. It's 2 notes, and it's just bouncy as shit. So next I did the hi-hats. This is the pattern right here, the piano roll. Velocities for some of them are, actually for one of them, I don't know why this is not as loud as the other ones. That might be a mistake. Pay no mind to that. The velocities are all the same for these hats. There are 2 rolls. There is this really short one on the second beat of that first bar. And then on the second beat of the fourth bar, we have this triplet roll leading into the clap. I also paired that with this little percussion sound, this little blip, chirp percussion sound, and that percussion sound plays here in between some of these hats, right? Super subtle, very simple little sound, but it does add a little bit of, you know, spice to the beat. It leads into these next few beats pretty nicely. I did shift the hats. I think, like, I don't know if that's milliseconds or anything, but I'm going to call it milliseconds. It is shifted slightly so that it's slightly off grid, again, to sort of give it that human bounce. Here's the hats and that little chirp on its own with the metronome so that you can tell more or less the time. Oh, I forgot to say, there is a little bit of reverb on it as well. Here's what the hat and the chirp sound like with all the other instruments except for the kick. I think it sounds great, man. As you can see, I did no leveling in the actual mixer. All my leveling was done here in the channel rack. Leveling and panning. I really wasn't trying to overthink it. You know, I'm not planning on putting this out or actually using it. It's just a remake. So I did all my leveling and shit in the channel rack. Nothing too crazy. And the kick, man. There is a kick that comes in, and it plays along with every single 808. Plays on top of the 808 at all times, basically. But here in the verse portion, you're going to see that the pattern is actually different. Pattern 1 and pattern 4. The reason that this pattern is different is because, well, the only difference to it is that there are 2 kicks that don't play with an 808, right? So that's it. This little kick on the end of the 4th beat of the 2nd bar and this kick on the end of the 2nd beat of the 3rd bar. They play by themselves with no 808 on top of them, or underneath them, I guess. and I picked that out in the track itself. I made a new pattern for it, and that is the only real difference to the production during his verse, beyond the fact that they take out the horns. The horns are mainly for the chorus. Here at the end of the verse, I just cut out this last beat and a half so that it leads into the second chorus, and the second chorus has another pattern because there is a delayed drop on it. So there's no 808 on the downbeat, just on the fourth beat, and it basically delays the actual drop a little bit, just like it does in the real song. So here's the end of the verse leading into the delayed drop. Just a little spice, man. All it does is add a little nice touch to it. Just adds a little bit of spice to that second chorus. That leads into the feature, and the first 4 beats of the feature's verse is just the mandolin melody. No beats, like no drums, no horns, no nothing. It's just the mandolin melody, so... And then the regular drums come back in. And it includes those 2 kicks that play alone by themselves. His verse goes on for 16 bars, and on the last 4, actually the last 2, we get rid of the drums completely. And for the last bar of his verse, all he has is that little descending horn note, which leads into the third chorus. And the only difference between the third chorus and the 2 previous ones is that the horns are offset now. They don't start immediately with the first beat. They only come in for the third one. And I believe that third bar, excuse me. And I believe that that's because really they just selected this and dragged it 2 bars over, so that the song ends on a descending horn note. I feel like that's really the only reason why they're offset, is so that the song ends on that descending horn note. I personally wouldn't have offset the trumpets. I think it sounds out of place, sort of. It is different and interesting to hear something a little bit different, but you know, you'll hear what I mean. It doesn't sound as good as the previous 2 choruses, in my opinion. But yeah, I'll let the beat play. I'll let the last chorus play through to the end so that you hear it ending on that descending trumpet note. And honestly, that's really it. I didn't tell you what I did to the kick, right? The kick just has this EQ on it, which I don't know if this is correct for the kick, but it made it sound better in my opinion. So that I did that. This beat's really hard, honestly. And that's it. So that's the beat, man. I like it. I like this beat. I like the way it turned out. You know, I don't think that it's perfect, but I also don't think that I am able right now to get it to sound any better than it currently does. It's not mixed. It's, you know, not really leveled. It's just a really quick remake that I had a lot of fun with. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys check out Remade Chefe's track, Rei Lacoste. It's in the description. Be sure to check him out. I'd really appreciate it. And let me know if you enjoyed this sort of video, man. Let me know, and I will do more of them. And I will actually live stream my sessions when I remake beats. I had a lot of fun making it, so regardless of whether or not you guys fuck with this video heavy or whether it gets tons of views, I might make 1 or 2 more of them because I had a lot of fun with it. So thank you guys for watching. Be sure to support the channel. Like, comment, subscribe, become a patron on Patreon. That would be really cool. Take care of yourselves. Take care of your families. Stay safe out there. And I'll see you guys later. Until then, peace out.
Moda casual de luxo, tô chique e confortável, no estilo tchutchuco.